Okay. Sorry, apologies for that. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the London session of the Market Color with Value Flow Trading Team and our boss Ejimi, Olufukeji, Adegbeye. Right. Good morning, everyone. Once again, I believe you can hear me now. Bola, Christian, Moses, Moyesori, Lua, Noah, Oluwaseyi. Good morning to everyone. Okpemikpo, Porter FX, and Prevail. Welcome to the London session of this Market Color. I would like us to do our usual routine, to spread the good news of this Market Color to as many as possible. Share it to your Facebook group, Instagram story, to as many people as you know that needs to be here, right? Do well to join and send it to them. Thank you so much. So let's go straight to the charts this morning. We'll be looking at analysis on indices pair, that's the US 30, NAS 100, and S&P 500, and as well as commodity asset class, the UCAD, NZD, USD, and also AUD, USD. We'll be looking at what that side of market is doing. Thank you so much, Mr. Okpemikpo, D Global. I see you. Good morning. Real recognize real. So let's go this morning. Let's look at what the market is saying, right? Okay. Quickly. And oh, I forgot our YouTube people. Good morning to those streaming on YouTube. Usually forget sometimes, but then I'm greeting you especially this morning. Thank you for joining in this morning. Let's look at what the market is doing quickly. All right. So NASDAQ has been interesting for a while now, right? Because it hasn't moved yet, because probably yesterday there wasn't any major price movement. Let me check there's an holiday, bank holiday yesterday, right? The market was very slow. In fact, it was sluggish. That's the word. It was sluggish yesterday. However, that's not our problem because it's expected, right? So whenever there's bank holiday, we tend to see slow price action. So nothing really has changed from last week. Last week we had this markup and we're expecting price overall in terms of what we're expecting from price to do. We're expecting a buy to sell model, right? Not exactly buy to sell, but then if a level yet refuse to hold, or we see a major rejection from that level, then we can expect to start selling off this fair value gap here. Okay, I think we have it. A quick recap, and then we continue from where we stop. We expect price to hold from this full swing that we had, right? Had this overall full swing, and then what are we looking at? We're expecting price rejected from this level. We want it to retrace back and continue to the upward direction, which we've seen started happening, right? Why are we choosing this level? We said this was another block that was violated, failed to hold. It wasn't, we saw this rejection, but it wasn't significant. After this, say, rejection, the next thing violated this entire other block, and then we said price is going to come back into one of these fair value gap, either this or this. But we chose this one at the upside because it was the closest to our area of interest. And so we saw price rejecting off from this fair value gap, that's the word, from this fair value gap to the upward direction, right? So what are we expecting this morning? For NAS, right? We're expecting NAS fill this fair value gap, which it has done, and then ultimately going for this level, 1.0% fib level. However, we are beginning to see a significant what's it called, concern here on this other block, this area of fair value gap. Sorry, why am I mentioning other block? Apologies for that. On this fair value gap here, we're seeing this fair value gap, which is a major concern, at least for me, right, for now. So what am I expecting? I want to see at least a level of reaction off of this level, something like this. Probably price is now going to trace a bit and then continue, because this fair value gap is very significant. So I'm expecting probably something like this is going to play out, or we will just see the markets push to the upside violently and continue its initial movement. Overall, we are still bullish, right? When we check from monthly time frame, weekly time frame, we are very much bullish, right? This is what I'm looking at in terms of the long-term play for NASDAQ. And one of the reasons this is happening is because why I'm bullish on NASDAQ is because of the correlation between NAS and other assets, and one of its asset classes, the US 30 Dow Jones. Dow Jones has already done its own retracement and it's continuing to the upside. However, we are seeing that NAS is yet to do that. About 2-3 months ago, right, we had NASDAQ being bullish. This entire bullish move to the upside happened on NAS, whereas on US 30 we didn't see anything, right? It was still trying to rally to the upside, so we capitalized on the move for US 30 while we use NAS as our what's it called, benchmark, as our leading indicator. But for this point now, at this moment now, the reverse is the case. We've seen US 30. Let's just quickly look at it. Still come back and analyze it. Something like this. We've seen US 30 retrace all its own move to the upside. However, on NASDAQ, we can see that it has not happened yet, right? So we are now capitalizing on the move for NAS to continue and then make significant pips from it. I think we still have at least a good number of pip for it to eventually complete that leg, right? The 0.0 fib level. We still have a good way to go, so we can as well just look at that and then milk it. So on 4 hours time frame, what are we looking at in terms of intraday basis? What are we looking at? Nothing really has changed. Structurally, we want to see a break of this structure and then a retest, right? Price breaking this structure and retesting it. Let me draw that out for us. This entire structure point. I want to see a break of this structure, violent break of this structure, then retest, and then you're going to continue to the upside. On 1 hour, is there anything significant we are waiting for? Not at all, not at all, not at all. All of those things have happened because I think last week? It was last week that we were looking to buy from this zone. Yes. So last week we were looking to buy from this zone. That's on Thursday. We had the analysis that we're going to buy from this zone and expect it to clear all the way here, right? And we saw that happened. However, this morning we don't have enough data to say we are going to engage this market in terms of intraday trade, like the 15-minute kind of trading. Nothing really is happening yet. Nothing really is happening yet. If you're going to use box pattern, except you want to use box pattern here, that there was a sweep here and then break, but then look at this. So I'm really concerned about this extra leg. For now, I just want to calm down and then get enough data. We just resumed, price just resumed in terms of volume. The market just resumed in terms of active volume in the market. So I want to see how this plays out until New York open. That's by 2:30. Then probably I'm going to see areas I can engage this market to buy to the upside, right? But on NASDAQ, I am very, very bullish. I'm very, very bullish, right? I want to see something happen. This fair value gap is looking interesting, and also, okay, looking quite interesting. We had something here, but it's not really like an IFVG, inverse fair value gap. If we don't have, it doesn't align with this. Assuming it's aligned, that will have been a very good area to actually engage this market from. So I'm looking at NAS this morning. Honestly speaking, for NASDAQ, we can just calm down for this morning and then wait the New York market open, and then we look at what to trade. Of course, now it's getting interesting because on 1 hour time frame, we are seeing a double FVG, right? We're seeing a double FVG. However, this sweep did not actually clear this guy here. I wish there was a sweep of this previous low. That would have made much more sense because price will have swept through this previous low, and then we expect price to come back and we engage to the upside. But for now, we can just be patient and mark out this area and see how price is going to react to it during New York session. So that is what I'll be looking out for, right? I'm expecting this level to be broken, this level that just has been tested 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Expecting this resistance level to be broken, to be turned to support. And if that should happen, then a retest of this zone will make more sense, right? A retest of this zone, something like this. Okay. Probably something like this, and then continue the move to the upside. That is just intraday kind of trade, right? That's intraday kind of trade. So that is what I'm looking at for NASDAQ. Let's look at US 30 briefly, and then we'll see what the market is doing there. For US 30, we have an interesting story for US 30 here, in the sense that we've been expecting this, but we know it has broken the previous all-time high. Now I'm expecting US 30 at least to buy to say minus 50.0% fib extension. So that is what I'm looking at for US 30 on daily time frame. Personally speaking, I wouldn't trade US 30 now. Instead, I'm going to focus more on maximizing the move from NASDAQ, because a lot has happened on US 30 already. So now it's like you're buying premium, something like that, for those that trade ICT. So I might as well just calm down and then maximize the move on NAS, because we've not seen this move happen on NAS, right? So I might just stay and really just capitalize on that move. But for the analysis sake, let's just look at US 30, what is happening. We have this zone that has been broken. Okay, let me look at 12 hours. Anything special on 12 hours? All right, guys, price is in a what's it called? A market discovery level. Anything can happen from this point. Anything can happen from this point. We have fair value gaps below here, but will price come to those fair value gap? I'm not sure. I really don't think so, right? I really don't think so. That price is going to come all the way down to this fair value gap. So it's in a new price discovery level. All you can just do is either wait, or if you scalp in 5 minutes and 15 minutes kind of scalping. Or honestly, I don't advise that, especially for NAS. Well, if your mind carry as they used to say, you can do that, right? So on 15 minutes, what do we see here? Even on 15 minutes, nothing really significant, in the sense that we're not seeing a clear box pattern. We're not seeing a clear box pattern for buys. You're not seeing a clear box pattern. If you're going to use the current price action, we saw a sweep here, but it hasn't even broken this level here. And the break of structure we want to see is actually this price breaking this high, coming back, something like this. Okay. Let me draw the semantics so you can follow through with me. Aha. So we haven't seen it here, right? We have seen this sweep, but we've not seen this break this entire, or at least this one first, right? Then, but I will love it to break this, then come back and pick to this zone. Let me mark it out for us. Use this. So I love a break of this high. Invariably, this will be the indication that this market is ready to push. Break of this high, and then price coming back to pick our orders, our order from this place, and continue the push to the upside. So that is what I will be looking at US 30 if I wanted to trade it. However, like I mentioned, personally, I'm not trading US30. I'm going to sit on NASDAQ instead and focus more on NAS, because really the major move is on NAS here. If we have to be honest with ourselves, the major move is on NAS here. We have a good way to go. We have a good price action already, and then price still has a lot to do, right? So if we see this completion 0.0 fib level, then that will make a lot of sense. If you know you might not be able to swing it, just take in what you can. Take your little 50, not even 50, NAS can be even 100 in a day, so much more than 100 actually. So you can just 50 and then you exit your position, or if you want to hold it, you can hold it all the way, and it's going to make a lot of sense. I have people that started holding NAS from not this position, this place here, right? And they are currently even still holding that position now, regardless of the entire mood swing happening with NAS, if I'm going to use that word. All right, guys, that will be the end of my own session of the market call-up. Please let me know in the chat box if you have any question, any inquiry you want us to look at, any session of the analysis you didn't understand and you want us to look at it again, specifically on NAS and US30, before my colleague comes up for our own analysis on commodity pair. Right? Quickly, is there any news today or any USD ISM manufacturer PMI by 3 o'clock? I think that's the major news we have for today, right? So I'll be waiting for our question. Do we have any question? We're about 21 on this Zoom call. Do we have any question whatsoever on NAS, US30, and probably S&P 500? Do we have any question? Do we have any question? All right. In the absence of no question, we'll be going on a short break, and my colleague will be coming in about, say, less than a minute. So please ensure you stay right back, and then we'll see you again by Thursday for another session on indices. All right, guys. Cheers and God bless.
All right, good morning, wonderful people. Welcome back to the second part of today's market color session. We're just going to be looking at AUDUSD after the great analysis Demola did on indices. So for commodity currency pairs, we're just still waiting for reversals. Remember from the last analysis that we did, good morning, Mr. Temitope. Happy dollars. Good morning, Okwe. So from the last analysis that we did, we had said we were waiting for reversals into specific levels, which AUDUSD has finally started trading into, very, very close to our point of interest. So this part of today's analysis is going to be very brief because we've already did like a proper breakdown of this, and now price is finally trading into those levels of interest. So we're going to be waiting for when price gets to those levels, we see entry patterns, and we're going to be taking them. So AU still pretty much bullish. Price is now inside our momentum. On the 1 hour time frame, we see sunshine here has been printed as well, right? So the levels we mapped out from last analysis was one which was here, and we said if price broke below this level, the next part was going to be trading into is inside the trend. So now that price has broken, it looks like it's going back to give a brief retest. This is the next probable area that we see AUDUSD selling into, but we now start looking for buy entries. However, to fine tune this, we can now go down to the 5-minute time frame to see what this particular time frame is doing. And what we usually do here is just to mark out for levels, mark out yesterday's high, mark out day before, yesterday, day before yesterday's high, day before yesterday's low, mark out yesterday's high, and the final one being yesterday's low, right? Now it looks like price has broken below all of these levels, which could have given us a buy entry, and it looks like a retest here for price to continue selling downward, right? So we're looking to, if you want to catch reversal trades, you could start looking for entries to sell AUDUSD all the way down into the trend, because there's still a bit more gap for us to go. From here to here is about a bit over 60 pips, right? From where price currently is to where price most likely will trade into. So for now, I'm just going to be watching AUDUSD, what it eventually does. If it gives entries for buy any moment from now and it's very clear, I might take the buy. However, if it does not, I'm going to keep waiting for price to get here. And that's why we always say trading most times is all about waiting. You're just going to keep staring at the chart and waiting for it to play out according to your trading strategy. For NZD/USD now, it's still the same thing. This is bullish 1 hour time frame as well, right into the momentum, which is an area or a level that we marked out saying that NZD/USD might find support at. Right, so now that it is here, we're going to see, is it going to buy all the way back into momentum and then give a final drop back into trend? We're going to keep watching to see what it eventually does. As I always say, if you are a price action trader and you don't have this indicator, I think the only people who have these indicators are our students. So if you don't have the indicators, all you need to be doing is taking note of the specific price points that I'm marking out, and then add it to your own analysis, add it to your own strategy. It just be like an extra confidence for you. For NZD/USD now, 5-minute time frame, doing the same thing I did on AU, marking out day before yesterday's high, day before yesterday's low, marking out yesterday's high, and final one being yesterday's low. Now, what do I want to see on the 5-minute time frame? Remember I said there's still a bit more gap to go down, right? So if price from where it currently is, I think it just might continue selling. Because if you look at, if you decide to zoom in and look at price action in between, you see that price already did this and did some sort of retest back before it finally dropped. So again, I'm going to be watching NZD/USD. However, I think it just might be going down even further. Or is it going to retest back in here? Maybe it's even going to retest all the way back inside the trend before it eventually drops. So I'm going to keep watching. And when I say drop, I don't mean like the trend has changed. I mean like the reversal into that 1 hour point of interest which we marked out. Remember, our overall buyers still a buy, and these sales are just reversals into specific price points that we want to continue with the 4-hour trend. For USD card now, very, 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 that's been bearish for a while. Same thing here. We're expecting reversals as at Thursday when we did the commodity currency analysis last. We're expecting reversals into this level. So price is currently doing that. Is it going to get all the way here? Because although I don't use price action, but looking in between, I can see like there's a fair value gap right here, plus a bit of diagonal liquidity, which price most likely looks like that's taking out. So is it going to trade all the way above? Let's see 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, it is inside the momentum. So this is a good enough place for us to see USD card continue selling. It's a good enough place. But if price breaks above this resistance level, which is supposed to send USD card down, the most likely area it's going to be buying into is going to be the trend. So just like I did on AU and NU, I'm just going to be marking out 5-minute price points. So yesterday's high, yesterday's low, zoom out a bit, day before yesterday's high, which is very close to yesterday's high, and final one being day before yesterday's low. So what I see here now looks like a sweet entry for a buy, basically telling me that there's a bit more room for price to continue buying into our 1 hour trend. There's a bit more room. Unless, of course, price does something different, like break below this and retest down here. If it breaks below all of these price points that we mark out here, then we might be seeing the continuation of the sell trend. That's the major reason why we draw these specific levels on 5-minute time frame. If we break above these and retest, I'm going to continue buying depending on my overall bias. If you break below all of my points of interest that are supposed to serve as support, then I might be seeing a new thing forming on the chart. So with that being said, what I'm going to be doing now, as I earlier stated, is just waiting. I'll be watching the 5-minute time frame specifically to see what it does. And if it does not align with what I need to see for me to continue to trade along with the trend, then I'm going to keep waiting till it does. All right, it's been a great time talking to you all. Thank you so much for joining our market caller session. We look forward to seeing you at 3:30. My colleague stated on Thursday, but we also realign at 3:30 p.m. for a recap. At 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. Sorry about that. We'll meet again by 3 p.m. on the dot for a market recap of what we analyzed this morning. And as my boss will always say, do have an amazing trading day. Okay, someone said, does VFT have a fundamental course? We cover a bit of fundamentals under sentiment, which is value flow models. So we teach sentiment. Under that, we also teach fundamentals, like you're getting two values in one. So if you have more questions about that, please feel free to send a message to us, ask a question, or we're going to attend to you. Okay, then. Any more questions? If there are no more questions, we'll call it a day here. Not a session, because we're going to meet again by 3 p.m.